Hello everyone, this is Soldier here. Welcome back to our Let's Play Dominions 4, Ulm, Storm of Vampires. It is now fall in year 6 of the Ascension Wars, and it looks like someone has cast another global spell. Apparently, it is the Eyes of God or whatever again. And we've actually found something with our Dark Knowledge in Zoglia. So take a look at that. We've found a Submerged Catacombs. So that's increased our Death Gem income up by 1 again, so that's nice. Apparently we actually have quite a few places that we can do some site searching in Astral again. Let's go ahead and forge yet another of our Endless Bags of Wine again here. And let's have several of these guys start doing some arcane probing again here. I'll eat through some of these astral pearls that we have. Okay. Now I was thinking about the fact that actually I might be able to have her start doing some dark knowledge too. At least we'll get to use up the sites that we've currently found. Anyways, I was thinking about the fact that I can go ahead and start taking advantage of all these guys that I have with astral magic, and we can go ahead and start doing some communions here. I'm actually going to have a few guys forge some crystal matrices here, which will allow us to include some of these guys, such as our black priests that have air and earth magic, or fire and earth magic, that don't have the astral magic. And basically we'll just, I think, use the black priests of Ulm as some of the communion masters, and we'll just keep all these other second tier mages as the communion slaves. So I'm gonna just run through here. I actually did a couple already. Now some of these guys, like the fire and earth, we're gonna have to give them some crystal matrices. But we're gonna set the rest of these guys to be communion slaves here. And that is going to increase the air, earth, astral, and fire magic of all the other guys by quite a large amount. And it will actually increase the magical powers of the regular mages as well. And they will be able to whip out some pretty powerful spells in combat, actually. And we're also going to throw in some spells like Summon Earth Power, which will give everyone reinvigoration. The Communion Masters can cast their buffs, and that's going to affect all the slaves as well. So it has other benefits as well. Alright. Communion slave. Communion slave. Communion slave. We'll see how this goes, and if I see that we're not having any trouble with fatigue, I may throw a couple more masters in there, or I may set some of the slaves to casting spells of their own. Actually, I suppose I need to just tell them to stay behind troops. That way they're not necessarily casting spells. I don't want to wipe them all out with huge fatigue losses either. Communion slave, stay behind the troops. Communions. No, not spells. Communion slave and stay behind the troops. Communion slave and stay behind the troops. This should actually also decrease the amount of time that we spend casting spells. They'll be able to whip out some more powerful spells. But we won't have to sit there and go through a million buffs and all that good stuff. Stay behind the troops. I may change some of these stay behind the troops to casting spells. We'll just see how it goes. It's better to be safe than sorry. It sucks to lose a whole bunch of mages to a communion gone bad. But I have a lot of mages here, so they should be pretty darn good, actually. If you're not familiar with how communions work, I believe once you add 2 slaves, it increases the master's magic pass by 1. Then once you double it and have 4 slaves, it increases by again. 8 slaves increases the magic pass yet again, I think up to 3. Once you have 16 slaves, it increases it up to 4. Then you've got to get up to like 32 slaves, and it increases it by 5. It takes 64 slaves, I think, to increase it up to like 6 pass. So, yeah, once you get up to 32, you're about done there, I think. I mean, you could potentially move on, but it takes a considerable amount after you reach a certain point there. Communion slave and stay behind the troops. Communion slave, stay behind the troops. Communion slave, stay behind the troops. This is why I went through and did a few of these before I actually started the video, because I knew this was going to take a little while. Communion slave, stay behind the troops. Communion slave and stay behind the troops. But doing this allows you to really cast some more powerful spells as well. And also to cast spells without losing fatigue too. Because it not only increases the magic power of the masters, but it also increases the magic power of the slaves as well. The fact that I'm doing this is actually rather tempting me to invest some more into evocation magic as well. Because I could definitely pump out some more powerful spells. A number of these actually require gems to cast, though, which isn't really what we want. You know, things like Storm of Thorns and stuff we could definitely make use of. But I'd have to get some of those fortune tellers that have astral and nature involved in the mix, and currently I only have one of those in my entire nation, I think. Could do Rain of Stones, but that wouldn't really help us too much. That's gonna hurt us just like it hurts the enemy. Of course, if we have everybody who's say cast Invulnerability and then you cast Rain of Stones, it's not going to do too much to us. But it won't do too much against an enemy unless they're not really armored. Iron Blizzard. I would actually like to have that too. Man, we're still gonna take several more turns to get up to that next level of blood magic. I'm just going to go ahead and divert a little bit there. And let's set all these guys to research. And we'll take these irregular priests, and we're going to have them go ahead and preach. At least the ones that I have here. Really? Oh, okay, I've already got 4 Dominion there. Okay, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Just keep it under my Dominion, alright? Alright. Now, our magic item treasury, we've got another... let's see... He's whore-marked. I don't want to give him anything. And... why not? Let's give him the, endless bag of wine. Let's pick a few other people here to... I guess I can give him a lifelong protection contract. Let's find some more of these black priests to give them to. Well, I guess I can give one to him. I think all my black priests have pretty much for the most part already got lifelong protection contracts. Alright, so let's pick the guys that have some astral magic on them. And make sure that they are forging some crystal matrices. Alright, well he's already forging one anyways. So these other two, they can go ahead and forge some. Now what the Crystal Matrix does, it grants a mage the ability to command a communion. So even the mages that don't have astral magic to cast a spell, they can go ahead and still be a master of a communion. Which is quite nice. And it'll allow these guys that have fire and air magic to master a communion. Let's see if I have any more guys around here that can forge any of those. I guess he can forge one. And he can forge one. So we'll forge a couple more of these. It might not actually hurt, really, to forge a few more and say give them to some of these priests, too. But, let's see here. Check our magic item treasury. Done about all there is to do right there, really. So, our disciple here actually now has 2 in water magic. Let's see if there's any new things that she can forge. She could actually forge Ember now, I do believe. I'm right-clicking, but nothing's happening. Okay, so Ember would give fire and cold resistance. And she could forge, say, Winterbringer. That's kind of about it. We could forge the Disease Grinder. She can forge Nethgul now, who's, yeah, kind of cool. He's a neat little magic item. Why not? Let's go ahead and forge old Ember there. And we can actually almost summon 2 vampire counts, but we can't quite. So we're going to go ahead and have him cast Curse of Blood. And then we can still go ahead and forge 3 more of these lifelong protection contracts. And that is going to give us a humongous, enormous amount of imps per turn. Once I throw all those into this army. Currently the supply usage is still at 408. I would like to see that down below 253. Granted, a lot of that is for these little hobergs and our light cavalry that are not going to be accompanying the army. But at least they are under the supply income that we're getting for Jankeep, so no one is getting diseased and starving anymore now. Let's see. Do we have everyone blood hunting? Got them blood hunting. They're blood hunting. They are, however, we're starting to see some unrest there. Let's go ahead and have them research for turn. And let's recruit another of these mermaid captains here. And how many are recruiting here? So that should be like 21. That should be about 40 right there, so once they're all finished recruiting, that will be as much as that merman captain can actually comfortably control. Let's go ahead and give these units to him. And we can go ahead and attack with these guys. Or at least with him. Let's I was thinking about recruiting some more shamblers there, but I don't know. So we got 40 enemies there. I mean, that might be enough to go ahead and take them out. Maybe good to go ahead and recruit a few more there. We'll do it. We'll attack them after that right there. And what can we... Yeah, it's still just shamblers here. Was it shamblers here too? Yes, it is shamblers here too. On the bright side, once I take the rest of these, all these little small armies I've got here can converge together, and then they'll march up that way. So if I go ahead and recruit a few more, I suppose it won't hurt terribly bad. Alright, let's go ahead and move our priests so we can construct more temples anyways. Let's have him construct a temple. And these two can go ahead and preach. Make sure that that stays under our dominion. We have a decent amount of vampires there. If I knew for sure that that was definitely going to stay under our dominion. Let's go ahead and build a temple there. And we're going to move up on there, I guess. I mean, we've already got pretty darn good province defense there. Let's send, yeah, all those priests up there. We're going to keep this under our dominion. And that way we can hopefully crush any enemies that come over there. And do we have any more else here of interest that we can go ahead and send up there? Let's send another one of these black priests up. We'll go ahead and give them to him, actually. Unfortunately, I don't think he can command any of the vampires. Unfortunately. Well, we're taking a little bit of a gamble here, moving all these vampires up there. I would much prefer to see 2 Dominion candles there. But I mean, I do have one of those guys preaching, and the other one building a temple. Ah. What does our province defense look like? I mean, they're not bad province defense here. It would just be a huge blow for us to lose all these vampires. Quite a huge blow. So they have Royal Guard. Yeah. I mean, we could risk it, but I don't think we are going to risk it. Maybe if I had some of those Zweihanders up there as well, but it's yeah. It would be a huge loss to suffer all of them. I'm going to go ahead and send some of these Black Templars up that way here too. So we are continuing to expand down here in the water, so that's good. Pick some of our more valuable provinces down here and throw a bit of province defense in them. I should probably do a little more of that, actually. And on the next turn, especially once I get this extra endless bag of wine and all these extra lifelong protection contracts that we are forging, I am going to go ahead and continue on with this army I've got, and we're going to move north. And hopefully we won't have to worry about any more of the starvation issues that we have been having. We're going to go ahead and preach right there. And fortunately I can't throw any more defense in there. So we have our disciple forging the ember. So that's halfway decent. I'm actually somewhat curious, before I move this guy, if he can forge any halfway decent magic items. He could actually forge Krupp's bracers, which are very nice indeed. And to be perfectly honest, I would prefer to have Krupp's bracers than the Ember sword. Magebane is another very nice sword to have. Actually, I didn't realize before that that was tainted. Of course, if you are using that against a whore, I think that should actually work quite nicely against a whore. Alright. So yes, I am very strongly considering forging Krupp's bracers. That's an easy one to forge, too. But we're gonna try something else here. We're only getting 1 nature gem per turn. That kind of sucks. Let's take a look here. I'm considering empowering, say, an air or nature. Let's go ahead and have him forge Krupp's bracers instead. Because again, that's a very good item that gives defense, protection, and reinvigoration. And for a combat character, a super combatant, or a thug, that is very nice. You know, especially if you're going for a high defense skill. Alright, let's just do it. We're gonna empower an air, I think. I can actually empower twice. I could even potentially start having, let's take a look here. If I was to... I could start casting Voice of Tiamat as well. That reveals all sites of elemental power in the sea. But it can only be cast under the water, okay. I don't think that a vampire can go under the water. So we're kind of SOL in that regard. Let's just do a little bit of side searching, I think, instead. For, we need 45 in water. At that point, I could potentially summon a water mage, I think. Let's take a look at conjuration. Contact Naiad. I actually need 1 more in water magic and 1 in nature magic. With that being the case, she may very well be able to forge a water bracelet. That would get her up to water 3. And then I could go ahead and empower her in nature. And then she could do Contact Naiad. Let's go ahead and do that. That way I'll get a decent water mage out here that I can start site searching for water sites. And I believe the Naiads actually may even have nature 2 as well. Don't recall off the top of my head. Alright. I think we're about as ready as we're ever going to get here. So we're going to go ahead and end our turn, and we'll end the video as well. So as always, if you enjoy our videos, I hope you'll like and subscribe, and we will see you again soon. Thank you very much.